everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Sports Space Show with Byron and Eric. And man, what a big show we have in store for you
Big show.
tonight. We're so excited. This is our first big time guest that's not anywhere near the Bay Area. I mean, you wanna tell everybody who we got?
So we're going to start the show with Dean Blandino, head of instant replay for Fox Sports, NFL, and college football. So.
And we have on a former WHL and NHL player as well for the Canadians, and looks like played for Quebec Nordics of the WHL, Mark Tardif on as well at 9:30. Yes. So a jam-packed show. But I know this is a sports show, but I want to give a moment of silence. Us here at the show want to do that in honor of
the George Floyd, that mercifully got killed by the cop, I think it was, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. So we want to give him a moment of silence. And all right, let's get back into it. So, I mean, I can't wait. I'm so jittery with this guest. Our first big time guest. What do you think of this, Eric?
It's just an evolution of the show, and we've had great guests on already.
We have. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah, we've had great guests, and it's just another great guest, and he's kind of a household name, at least for football fans. So super excited to talk with him, because the NFL, there's so many rules that are changing, and the game is evolving. We've talked to past football players, current football players, and we always bring up rules and how that would have affected them if the rules were what they are now 10, 15 years ago. And many of them have strong opinions on that. So it's great to kind of now bring in someone who has such a large voice in the NFL rules and knowledge in it. So it's going to be great to hear from him.
And he kind of learned from the best too. Before he got there, it was Pereira, if you remember. Even though Pereira's still with them, it was still Pereira was the main one.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's a good point.
So very knowledgeable. I can't wait. But I want to get into some sports topics that we have going on. Sure. NBA is returning officially.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even though no announcement has been made, they're going towards still the June 1st date, and then I believe I heard in the middle of July or at the end of July they would do the playoffs, because they're done with the season. That's
okay, so they're done as well, just like the NHL.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, they typically, I think they're like a week apart only.
Yeah.
So.
And what do you think about it would work for the networks too, because they're talking here in Orlando, which one of their big time sponsored TV deals is with Disney.
ESPN, right.
So, Disney and ESPN. So, that I could see them easily all coming here for playoffs, doing the...
Yeah, that makes sense. Like we talked about, Orlando's going to be a hub city, and it seems like Vegas would be the other hub city for kind of the West Coast.
Yeah, but no, I think I heard just for the playoffs, they would bring the teams down here. Same with NHL, they would bring them down here. It'd be like a one city thing and have all the teams playing. You get what I'm saying?
Well, the NHL hasn't picked a centralized city yet.
Not yet. But
okay, so the NBA is looking to do all their games in Orlando?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And they're expected to okay the restart plan according to ESPN soon.
Right.
So when that comes around, we'll be the first to let you know for sure. We'll bring it up. But for that moment of silence that we gave, good news did come out today. I heard on the JP show today. So good news did come out of it.
Right.
Breaking.
They arrested the cop.
And he's facing 3rd-degree murder, and will be
right.
And
I think manslaughter.
Manslaughter, yeah.
Which I thought 3rd-degree. I didn't think there was a 3rd-degree murder.
So
it was always manslaughter.
He's going to be in jail for a long, long time. But as JP said, though.
Well, he's got to get convicted.
As JP said, though, this guy had a history. It goes to show how cops are crooked. JP said this guy, if you look him up, I guess had a history.
Yeah, it looks
of doing this.
Yeah, he had
stuff like this.
He back in 2008, he's been on the force for 17 years. In 2008, he shot someone. It sounded like it was like a no-knock raid. No, it was domestic violence. That's what it was.
Yep.
It was domestic violence.
Yep.
And opened the door and they just shot a man.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like you just don't do that. Like, if I did that to you, I would be in prison still.
Right. So I hope he gets what he's going. It just sucks that it took a video again, just like the one in Georgia. Remember that one? It took like a video to get these
which leads me to believe, how often has this happened when there's no video?
Yeah.
If there wasn't a video, nothing happened.
Exactly, nothing. There's no proof, no nothing. I know.
It is a shame. It really is. And I know this is a sports show, but it is a damn shame.
Yeah, and
it is.
Unfortunately, it'll never end. I wanted to call it in JP show while talking about it, but I was like, nah, because he'll come up with something else. But I wanted to say, and it's true, no matter what we say or do, there will always be, unfortunately, racism in this country. No matter how much we want to deny it and want to try and face it, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless, it's not going to stop ever. But enough being said, let's get into our first guest. You want to introduce him? Sorry, guys. Give us one moment here.
Hello.
Hi, Dean. This is Eric. Welcome to the Sports Space Show with Byron and Eric. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Eric. I'm good.
Thanks for joining us. A few minutes of your time to join us so we can talk a little football. I hope you and your family are doing well. And, excited to have you on. Really am.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited to join you guys, and thanks for having me.
Definitely.
Thank you. So the first question I kind of want to get into, since you obviously you were the VP of officiating for the NFL and now working for Fox Sports, given the changes in the NFL, it seems like the NFL of all sports is kind of evolving the most when it comes to rules. Seems to be protecting the players. What's the biggest rule that you see that has affected the game the most recently?
Well, recently, I think if you look at just very recently, the pass interference review rule from last year had a major impact, and obviously didn't go very well, and it won't be back I think over the course of my time at the NFL, I think the league has done a really good job in terms of protecting players, and the defenseless player rules have really expanded, and now you have, I think there's 11 different players or postures that are listed in the rule book that where you're protected from contact to the head and neck area. And so I think the league has done a really nice job there. I think that's had a big. You see it if you grew up in the 80s and 90s and watched football then, or if you watch old footage, you saw hits that you don't see today. You see players adjusting. You see players really making an effort to stay away from the head or neck area. So I think the player safety rules have made such a tremendous impact in a positive way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now, since you do the officiating alongside Mike Pereira with Fox, I want to ask you, out of all the games that you've done, which was your most memorable that you've done?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. There's been so many, when I was at the NFL and I would, as a replay official, and I worked, a lot of Super Bowls. I was in the replay booth for a whole bunch of Super Bowls, a couple that stand out. I was in the replay booth for the Patriots Giants, the David Tyree helmet catch. That's definitely one that stands out. Or the Cardinals Steelers with the Santonio Holmes catch in the end zone.
Yep.
That won it for the Steelers. That same game, James Harrison had a 100-yard interception return at the end of the half with Larry Fitzgerald running through the bench area to make a tackle right at the goal line. There's been so many games that I've been lucky enough to be a part of, and I just feel, like I said, just really lucky to have been, at those games.
That's a lot. Those are some big games, some big moments. We've had some players that were in those games kind of talking about it. So it's kind of interesting hearing now from the officiating side. So I wanted. So you were the head of officiating for the XFL, and the XFL obviously, I think given the whole coronavirus shutdown, it would still be around, and obviously the XFL had some unique and very progressive rules. Do you see any of those kind of being incorporated in the NFL?
Well, I know that the NFL definitely talked about the XFL kickoff. I thought the kickoff was very unique, and it was great the way it worked out because it kept the kick return in the game. It eliminated those high impact collisions that we see on the more traditional kickoffs, and I think the NFL has talked about it. I don't know if they'll implement it at any point, but as you look at the kick return and the number of injuries, especially head and neck, apparently there's several bidders that could potentially buy the XFL. I just think that what the XFL showed this go around is that if you put the right resources behind it, if you have the right partners like Fox Sports and ESPN that will produce these games and put resources behind those productions, that spring football can work. It was exciting. People were going to the games. People were watching on TV.
Yeah.
So I do think someone's out there. I don't know if it's Vince, if he would buy it back, but I think if the right person could get behind it, purchase it, and reboot it, I think it could work. And I think it might happen. I don't know for sure, but I definitely think it could happen.
Oh,
yeah, I think
like
we'd be in favor of having more football.
I would.
Never going to say no. There's not enough football or too much.
Right. Exactly.
I wanted to kind of get into so on Sundays, obviously all the games are going on, and how do you watch all the games and all the replays that are in it, and you kind of then sending live feed to kind of watch a replay, and then there's another game you have to go into that. So how many moving parts are there, and how do you control all that?
Yeah, so you've got however many games are going on, and there's a wall of monitors, and every game is on on that wall, and then you've got individual stations that will have one game and one person assigned to that game, and then I'll be sitting there and those people might be calling out different things. Could be a tight catch at the sideline, could be a touchdown that's close, could be something involving the officials are getting together to talk about something. And then I have a touch screen in front of me, and I can access any one of those games on my touch screen. I can run the video back and forth, so I can look at all the replays. And then I have basically it's called the PL line, the producer line, that I could talk to the producer in the TV truck. And then I've got an earpiece, and they can talk to me. And if I have to go on the air, there's a camera set up. I turn, I look at the camera, and we just start talking about the play. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on. It's actually pretty exciting on Sundays and Saturdays for college football.
Right.
We're with all the games going on, and you've got, with me, especially on Sunday when you've got the Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and Michael Strahan, and everybody's there, and we're all watching football. It's a really cool and fun environment.
Now, doing it for both college and NFL, knowing that you've had to watch so many games, did you ever recall an instance where where there were two games playing at once and you had to make a controversial call right there to reveal to people at the same time? How does that work?
It definitely happened where you have to, certainly the first one, if they happened at exactly the same time, you'd have to make a decision. But sometimes one play would happen, you start to communicate or go on the air for that, and then something else would happen, and we'd have to tell that game, well, just hold on a second, and then I would jump on. Sometimes I'm with Mike Pereira in the studio, and we can split the games, and so that makes it easier. Sometimes he's on the road, so it's just me. So you kind of just manage it. We've never had an issue where we couldn't go on the air for a play, even if we have to wait for the next play or the next break where, hey, let's bring in Dean and let's talk about that whatever it is that happened.
Gotcha. Since we're talking a little football, college football and NFL, obviously one of the biggest differences of the two is the overtime rules. Do you favor one over the other, and do you think one is fair, gives it a fairer chance than the other one?
Yeah, my background is NFL.
Right.
That's where I started. I like the NFL overtime rule for a couple of reasons. I think it maintains an element of sudden death, right? The game can end at any time. It can end on the opening kickoff, right? It keeps all three phases in the game: offense, defense, special teams. It doesn't fundamentally change the way you've played the game for 60 minutes. So I like that. I like the NFL overtime rule if I had to choose. I think college football overtime is exciting. I think it works for college football. I think people believe it's more fair because both teams are guaranteed a possession, where the NFL, you're not guaranteed a possession. So I think they both work. I think it's exciting. I watched ESPN had the 2003 Fiesta Bowl on last night, Ohio State, Miami. That went to overtime. It was exciting. But personally, I like NFL overtime because I think you have to play defense, to win games. And I like the idea that the game could end at any point. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't go get a drink. You got to stay there,
right.
and because the game could end.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dean Brandino, everybody here. I also got to ask you as well, since you said you're also in the studio as well with Terry, Howie, Jimmy, Michael, and Tony. Who would you say is the funniest out of them all? I know they're all funny, but who's more funny in your eyes?
Well, I think Terry Bradshaw is probably one of the funniest people I've ever met, and he's not always intentionally trying to be funny. He's just funny. He's a character. It's not an act. It is who he is. He's really, he's got so many stories and obviously been around for a long time. So I'd say, Terry's he's up there. I love all those guys. Howie Long is such a good guy. Jimmy Johnson, Strahan, they're all really great guys. But Terry Bradshaw is he's up there in terms of funny people.
Huh. That's awesome. You got a question, Mike? Last question before we let you go. Do you see the NFL starting on time? Given everything that's going on, man, we need some football in the fall.
Yeah, I do. I don't look. I don't know. We're all still kind of, it's still open ended. We're not sure. I do think the NFL will play on time. I don't know. I can't imagine every city, every stadium is going to have a full stadium of fans. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. But I do think the league is going to start on time. I think we will have football in the fall, and I just don't know if it's going to be full stadiums to start. I think college football is going to be a little more of a challenge because you're dealing with so many different conferences and different levels, and these are kids that have to get back on campus and then get reacclimated. But I do think we're gonna have football in the fall. I think the NFL will start on time, and college maybe a delay in the college season, but I'm hoping that we're gonna get a lot of football this fall.
That's the answer we want to hear. I think everyone wants football. I hope I go to the stadium and see it, but if it's on TV, it's better than nothing right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know.
So do you think the Super Bowl will be on time this year then, if everything progresses the way they're talking about?
I do. Yeah, I think it will. I know there was a lot of contingencies built into the schedule where they could potentially push it back, but I do think the Super Bowl will be on time. And again, who knows, right? We don't know what exactly is going to happen, but the way it's trending now, I think we're going to start on time. And the Super Bowl, right, it'll be in your neck of the woods in February. So.
Yes, yep, can't wait for it.
Yeah, obviously with the Buccaneers and their off season, we're as Bucs fans, we're super excited, and then the Super Bowl's here. A lot to be hopeful here.
Oh yeah, can't
could
wait.
This could be the year, right? The first home team to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium, and
it could
with Brady and yeah, I think they had a great off season. Obviously, when you add Tom Brady, I don't care, how long he's been in the league. He's going to make it exciting, and it should be a fun season for the Bucs.
We're just hoping for a playoff game. Give me one playoff game.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you, Dean Blandino, for joining us. I'm sure you're a busy guy. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes. Love to have you on the show again if you ever have time down the future.
Yeah, let me know. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well,
appreciate it.
You and your family have
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night, and thanks for joining.
All right, guys. You too. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Wow, how about that? Jitters all over with now. I mean, oh, man, I amazing.
Yeah.
Everything. He's pretty much answered all of our questions that we nailed it with.
Yeah, so he's more of a. I thought like the overtime rule. I think the casual fan would probably favor college. Would you?
The casual fan, yes, because they like all that overtime
because it gives a fair chance for each offense.
Yes. If the NFL goes to that, no, I don't. I
think that they should.
I don't.
I think they should just play a whole 15 minutes.
No, because that'd be too long. You're trying to shorten it. No. I say just stick with. I just stick with what it. I would just add something a little different. Like, do what they do now. It's like if they score, they give the other team a chance to score. If they score, say if the first team scores a field goal or a touchdown, okay.
Well, right now it's if a field goal.
Right, no. I know if they score, it's
like its first team scores a touchdown.
Right.
You think the other team should have a chance?
Yes.
Well, then, just play the college rule then, or play. In my opinion, just play 15 minutes. Just have an extra period.
I don't know about that. That's...
A quarter period. Thinking hockey.
But
quarter.
I mean, I'm glad to hear too that he answered perfectly what he does with Mike Pereira. With all them games.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing.
that was one of the questions I've always
I always wondered that too.
Yeah, I thought that just in live TV. So basically, he's living a dream he's watching all the
football. Yeah, going on. Him and Mike Pereira in either in studio or in the production truck.
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought, right? And then I also did like how he said about Terry Bradshaw, though. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And I also could see how he could be funny but not intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, so. They're all funny in their own little way. Even you have James Brown, who's the host now. He's funny in his own little way. So.
Yeah.
But it was definitely great. Hope to have him on again, definitely. And I'm glad that he spent some time with us. So.
Absolutely.
Because he's been all over the place. He's been on every single major podcast, radio, you name it. He's been on all.
Now he's been with the Sports Bay show.
The Sports Bay, yep. We scored one.
Speaking of scoring, do we have another guest?
We do, but real quick. I want to get it from our fight analyst over here. What's up with this fight coming up Saturday? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, so it's Woodley versus Burns. Woodley is kind of, you'd say he's past his prime. He's 33, past champion, welterweight champion. He was, for a time there, I think the welterweight division is the most stacked of all the divisions in the UFC, in my opinion. But he's still one of the top contenders.
Is it true what I heard today about Woodley? He's one fight looking away to being away from welterweight qualified.
Yeah,
there.
Against Usman. I'd say if he wins tomorrow night, like I said, it's a stacked. Does Covington get another shot? Then you have Masvidal.
See, I don't follow it as much as I should. I like
the welterweight, the 170.
I love UFC.
Weight class is the best class.
Don't get me wrong. I like UFC. It's just, unfortunately, I don't know anybody anymore. Everybody's pretty much gone and retired from when I watched it. Chuck Liddell's gone. Rich Franklin, Vanderlei, GSP.
So that's interesting.
BJ Penn.
Someone who like you, who's very casual with a fight fan. Does the UFC do enough to market their fighters?
No.
Outside of Conor McGregor, everyone knows him.
Everybody knows him, and they know John Jones.
Do they? John Jones?
Because he's always in the news for the wrong things. Same with McGregor.
They haven't marketed their fighters.
No.
And there's some really good. I think the talent level now is better than it was 15 years ago.
Even with their females, they don't really showcase them.
Yeah, and actually that fight, Amanda Nunes.
Ronda was the only one that everybody knew.
Right.
And then she went on to WWE.
I think it's a shame. I think it's a great sport. It's exciting.
Do you think it's a Dana White problem issue why they don't showcase their fighters and it's Dana White's deal?
I don't know. Dana White, everyone knows Dana White, so does he market himself and not his fighters?
He pretty much does because you hear him.
Maybe that's a bad thing.
When do you honestly hear him talk about the fighters except for when the fights are coming up? When do you ever hear him though? God bless him for helping him trying to get this fight thing going to get us normal again. I like him for that, but when it comes to...
Yeah, so a lot of times you're saying it's about me. It's about Dana.
Well, doesn't it seem like it to you? Besides when the fight's coming up, when does he ever talk about his fighters? Like he did when he had big names.
Look, I think he's made the UFC into a household name. The UFC... It's
not just him, though. It's the Fertittas that made it as well. Right.
They could do better. I think they could do better. Because look, when Conor McGregor fights, you say what you want about the guy, and he's not one of the. I mean, he's fought the 170 weight class as well. I mean, people watched it. Conor McGregor. He markets himself. He's done a hell of a job doing it too.
So they just it's until he does something with that. I just can't watch UFC. I don't know who's fighting.
Right.
You'd have to literally watch it to figure out. You have to not. A lot of people are in my shoes where they can't buy the pay-per-views or watch the fights. They're spending enough for ESPN Plus to watch the fights.
Right.
So how are you going to?
But see, it's more than just the fights, though. I mean, yes, that's them fighting, but to know the fighters, yeah, you have to see them fight, but there's so much more that goes into it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's tough.
But he's fighting Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns beats Woodley. Burns is on a hot streak.
And who do you see Conor facing next?
Well, I heard that talk with Anderson Silva at a catch weight of 176. 176 for Conor.
I heard something too. He's lost his touch with the other fighters, according to the welterweight champ right now, or what he is.
Right. So Conor would fight. He's fought in 3 weight classes, but 170 is one that he fights in. But there's so many good fighters there that
Who's the welterweight champion right now?
Usman.
Yeah.
What the hell's his first name?
Yeah.
I saw his fight. I was in Vegas.
Or was it
Usman.
Or was it middleweight? Who's the middleweight champion? It was one of them. I can't remember. One of them fighters he fought.
No, he doesn't fight 185.
With Khabib.
That would have been.
I can't
lightweight.
think of. I heard the name, and he was like saying he's lost his touch with the fighters. He don't have his style anymore because of what he's been doing, McGregor. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we got another guest. So, former NHL player, 14-year veteran combined in the NHL and WHL. He played with the Montreal Canadiens of the NHL and Quebec Nordics of the WHL. So we're going to give him a call right now. Hey Mark, welcome to the Sports Space Show with Byron and Eric. How are you tonight?
Good.
I hope you and your family are staying safe out there.
Yes, we are.
So I want to get right to it. The NHL draft would have been coming up soon. I see you went 2nd overall with the Canadiens. Take us through.
No, I think the wrong one. I'm the one that got drafted in the entrance of the light in the NHL in '92. I'm the one who played more in the minors. I was listening show and you guys were talking about the one who played for the Montreal Canadiens and the Northeast. But I'm the one that there's 2 Mark Charles in Quebec. The one who got drafted in the entry draft from the Lightning, and the one who's way older than I am.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So take us through your draft and when you got drafted. Did you think you were going to go earlier than what you did?
I did not understand your question.
Hey Mark. This is Eric, co-host of the show. Thanks for joining us. So just kind of when you got drafted, take us through that night and what was the feeling like? Because obviously you're working your way through the juniors and whatnot to get drafted, and how was that? Yeah.
The experience was wonderful, and the thing is, like you said, I was doing my way up to the Tampa Bay Lightning were going in the NHL, so I was thinking that my chance to play in the starting lineup was pretty well, especially when it's a new team.
Right.
But it didn't go that way for me because the players that they were trying to get was more players to get some people in, like players that they were in the NHL for a couple of years, like older one, more names. My first year, I remember when we started the tried players like Brad Gretzky, the Wayne Gretzky brothers, to be able to sell some tickets. But that's it. And after that, I've been doing there. I was playing in my junior in Shawinigan in Quebec, and every year I was going back for the training camp. And when I was 20 years old, I got sent down to the Atlanta Knights. That's my first year pro. We won the championship. So the second year, at 21 years old, when I went back to the training camp, I said, okay, this year that was going to be my chance. So we had the lockout. And the lockout was not very good for me because most of the guys who were supposed to play in the NHL got sent down in the IHL, and I was there. So the younger guys had to go play in other leagues, like the East Coast League. And it's at that time that I went to play in Nashville with the Knights. That was another team affiliate with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I pursued my career one more year there at Nashville. And that was a pretty nice city too. And that's it. And with the years, I did my career. After that year, I got traded to. Actually, I didn't get traded. I got laid off by the Lightning because they didn't have no more rooms. So I went to pursue my career with the Buffalo Sabres. Again, I went there for the training camp. Got to find my after 2 years, a couple days of training camp, and they sent me back to the Rochester Americans. So I went there for a couple months, and even there we had some other good players. So I got sent down again. I went to play to Charleston, South Carolina in the CHL league, and I love it there too because it's the same weather than in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we got songs to play golf in the winter. Like compared to up north, we don't play golf during hockey season.
Right. So you're well traveled. Do you have a favorite city that you played in?
I would say Charleston.
Okay.
You got summer year round and play hockey when you can go to the beach. It's pretty good lifestyle.
What was your most memorable moment that you remember in your career?
I would say my championship. Two championships. The one in the IHL with the Atlanta Knights, and the other one with the Charleston, South Carolina. Every year when we win a championship, it's always memorable because in the team to win a championship, you need to get it's like a family. You know, when you win a championship
Right.
Everybody, almost everybody get along, and we work on the same way and the same goal. So those seasons are always remarkable.
Yeah.
Right. So do you still follow the NHL? And if you do, what's your take on the whole, the playoffs with 24 teams in it? Have you given that much thought?
We just found out last week about that. I don't follow hockey no more that much,
Okay.
especially the NHL. Back in now, I live up north in I would say Montreal is. I live in Laval. It's a city close to Montreal. We are around about the Montreal Canadian, but like I said, I don't follow hockey no more. I've been doing some coaching. I was coaching my oldest son for when he started a couple years ago. And lately, it's been 2 years that I stopped coaching my youngest. But that's the closest about hockey that I kept in my life now.
What's the difference between coaching and when you played? So take us through that. What's different about it?
The difference?
Yep.
It's the difference. It's two passions for me to be able to coach was something great because I love to the connection in between players and the coach. And as a coach, my goal was to give the more tricks and more advice to players to be able to get in the NHL. But the thing is, most of the kids that they gonna play hockey, they won't get there. But at least I was trying to give them as much as I received in the past by coach that I've been with.
Yeah.
Right. Do you favor playing or coaching when you were coaching your sons? Because obviously that's a big moment.
Yeah, but I love both.
Sure.
I would say that playing was more fun.
Right.
Because I was younger, but at the end, I knew I was not able to give the same the same show that I used to play. But coaching is different, but it's the same challenge. I got one of my friends that Jared Benson is coaching the Avalanche now, and I never thought that I was going to love coaching, but if I would have started younger,
Right.
to coach, maybe I would have tried to go further in that direction.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got you as well. But yeah, we're thank you for your time. I'm glad you had spent a couple moments with us to talk, a little about your minor league experience. We would have never known how much you travel. I mean, that's something. That's you're a traveling man.
Yeah, but it was not that bad. But when you play sports, especially when you're in the minor, even in the NHL, professional sports,
Right.
that's part of the game. Some years you gonna be someplace, and the other years you gonna be somewhere else because you got the youngest kids that's coming back to you, and the games change too. And but traveling is part of the sports when you want to do that as a profession.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right.
it definitely comes with the territory for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we definitely enjoy your time, and thanks again for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, well, tell you guys, and keep doing your good job. Your show is pretty cool.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Listening just before my talk, and keep doing your good job, guys.
Thank you. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Mark. That was awesome. Appreciate that.
See you later, bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
So,
what
that's-
a traveling man. Like.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. With sports, I mean, you're traveling, and especially in the minors. I mean, probably long bus rides, and
Yeah.
it's something fans don't think about really.
And to know he won 2 titles too, with 2
Yeah.
different teams.
Those doesn't matter what level you do that in. I recently won an adult softball championship. And
Oh, did you?
it felt good
When was
When-
this?
before the pandemic, March.
Adult over here in Clearwater. The adult
Tampa.
softball.
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah.
Because I know I was in the adult baseball league there for a while over here.
Yeah, I did it with some guys I work with, and it was the 4th season, and we had came close. Two seasons ago, we should have won it in the championship game. We were up by 6-7 runs, and we blew it. So my point is, winning, no matter what level, feels good. End of story. You play to win the game.
You play to win the game.
You
it's
play
true.
to win the game.
I see. So was that competitive league I was in. That's why I never really had a chance to play in the adult men's league that I was part of. The Nationals jersey that you see me wear.
Right.
I was just never good enough to play. So
Oh,
it was
you're so honest, Byron.
I am being brutally honest. I never got to play. The wife can tell you. The wife can tell you.
You never played once?
I was always on the bench.
But you never got one at bat.
I did get at bats, yes. Maybe here and there, but
Well, that's kind of BS. I mean, you're paying to play.
yeah, I know.
But you're sitting
But
on the bench.
because they were a competitive team. They were the most competitive.
So did
Yeah,
you know that
team
going
out
into
there.
it?
Yeah, that was the only team that would accept me. I wanted to play at the time.
And this was baseball?
Yeah, I went like 0 for 15
Fire.
in this season.
It's okay. Yeah, look, you're a much better podcaster, if that's even a word, than a baseball player.
Clearly, I guess. All right.
Yeah, you and I never played growing up, right? It was
No,
You
it was
played
just
with-
me and Mark.
you played with Mark, yeah.
Yeah. So
I watched enough games. Yeah, you
you came out there quite a
I
bit.
came out. Yeah.
Did you see the one where Mark told you about? You weren't there, were you?
Which one?
When I went for the fly ball, backed up and fell on my rear end. Were you there for that one?
No, and I don't know.
Mark was pitching, I think.
Mark was
he
pitching?
said. I think he said he was pitching.
He had to be pissed.
he was. He was.
A sniper got you.
Yeah. he was pissed.
Oh,
he was.
man.
He was. So that I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that game.
Oh, gee.
And then landed in the outfield for a double.
So you laced a double down the third base line. That's how you have to look at it. You hit a bullet down the third base line and you coasted in the second. That's how you play that story out.
And I was shocked. I was shocked.
No,
hit
you
it.
wear it. Like, I've done this before. Was
I-
that your only extra base hit?
I even pitched too.
That's where I remember.
I pitched and I got hit because I'm not a fast. My fastball tops is 50. That's my tops.
It was your fastball wouldn't. I'm not even gonna.
Don't even go there, but I know what you were going for. It's like a curveball. It's like a curve.
It's not registering.
Yeah, it's not like a curve. It's like a curveball, folks. But yeah, I only throw
You
50.
had a weird windup too. Because you're southpaw.
Tell me how my windup was, because I forgot, Doc.
You were like
Pitching doctor.
what's lefty? I like Lefty Johnson. back in the day.
Who the heck is Lefty Johnson?
Google Lefty Johnson.
Lefty Johnson, was he another southpaw? Is that why they call him that?
That's why his name was Lefty.
Well, what's your pitching stance? What was your pitching stance when you played? You weren't probably any better, were you?
I was okay. Who did I pitch? Roger Clemens. Like I tried to
emulate him.
Yeah, like in late innings. Like if I was like pitching 6-7 innings, towards the end of the games, I would try to be like the Rocket. Yeah.
You should have been like the closer, Eric
And
Gagne.
Barry Zito.
Wear the glasses.
Barry Zito.
Oh, Mass Singer Barry Zito.
Barry Zito. He was my guy.
Mass Singer.
He's the singer, yeah.
Now he's a country singer too. Yes.
Oh, is he country? I know
Yeah,
he does.
he's country.
Yeah.
And what a performance he did. I would have never thought until I heard the clues that it was Zito. I didn't put two and two together until I saw it online.
He's talented, yeah.
But he lasted until the semifinals of the Masked Singer.
Oh, I didn't know he was on that.
Yeah, this season. And he said
What singer?
Masked
Mask?
Singer. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was on that. I've heard him sing. I don't watch these shows. Oh.
He said the most interesting part about that show was being in the mask. That's why most of these celebs do it.
I don't even know mask. You're in a mask?
You're dressed up in a costume with a mask.
Okay, this is foreign to me. I'd have to tonight when I'm
you'd have
laying
to
in bed.
you'd have to watch it.
I'll YouTube one or two, see what that's about.
Yeah, well, yeah, you in bed watching Masked Singer eating cookies and milk or something.
No, I'm not. Not cookies and. No, I don't have. I have ESPN Plus on my computer. I don't have cable.
So you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll find a way to watch it. I say that, and I still haven't watched the MJ.
Yeah,
series,
you haven't. Why haven't
so.
you?
Have you?
No.
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 I know.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the show there.
No. No, thank you. I have no interest in watching those two.
It's a funny debate, though.
Skip is right out there with Stephen A. No, thank you. I don't want to know what they talk about.
That is
But
true.
you want to know what I talk about.
Or what we talk about here
What
on the
we
show.
talk about.
So how sad is it that what we saw on TV yesterday while we were at Abe's? You want to tell everybody what we saw at Abe's? Well, on TV, on ESPN?
No. What did we see?
The NBA 2K League. How
Is that
sad.
what that is?
How sad that's what it's going to nowadays.
I saw
No live sports.
I saw a video game. I saw something live happening.
Yeah, video games.
I'd be lying to say I wasn't watching it.
But then again, horse was also that too. Virtual. Remember they did that too. The horse. NBA did the horse.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Virtual horse.
Oh boy.
What you won't find here on the show, people.
Any plans this weekend? Oh, that's right. We're going out tomorrow.
Who said?
I'm saying.
So you're actually gonna come get me after I get off at 6?
We'll talk about the finer details off the air. But yeah, you're coming out. You're having some beverages.
As long as I can drive home, my wife will not care.
You'll get home.
I'm driving home now.
You'll get home safely.
I'm not taking Uber.
You'll get home safely.
We'll see. With you, I'm always scared on that. Like the 21st.
Yes, I'm hoping to repeat that.
Not going to happen. Not
Sure.
going to happen. Sorry. I ain't going to allow it.
But,
throwing up in a cup is not... No, that's not the
No.
way to go.
We don't want that.
We
Okay.
kicked out of Hooters, okay?
Nah, we don't want that. Don't tell people that. Who do we got on the show Sunday? Let's talk about that.
That's all I was going with that. I wasn't going any more to that.
Oh, okay. Who knows? You're a wild card.
We have on former NFL kicker Mike Hollins, formerly of the Jaguars, Bills, and Giants, and former Giant Byron Williams. So we're going to have
your favorite name.
We're going to have on another Byron.
So we're having 2 Byrons on this show?
I wonder if he's crazy as me.
I am not. You won't see me Sunday. Nope. 2 Byrons?
We'll see him. We'll see him.
All right, well, great. So we got those 2 guys on the show. We'll talk some football. No, we've had a kicker. No, first kicker.
No, we had on the kicker.
We had a punter.
They're the same thing. They're kicking a football.
Oh, I'm asking Mike that. Are they the same thing? Mike, do you consider yourself a punter? And I hope he just lashes out at you. As my co-host says. First kicker of the show.
They're both the same. They're kicking a football.
How dare you say that?
They're kicking a football.
A kicker and a punter are 2 different things.
They're kicking the same thing. We'll have this debate all night long, but it's the same thing. One's just kicking a ball into a post. Touchdown post.
Is that what it is? It's called a field goal. Field goal post.
I know that, silly.
So, Mike, how does it feel kicking into a touchdown post? Oh, yeah, that'll go over really well. So join us for those 2 guys on Sunday. Hopefully Byron, he's coming out tomorrow, so we'll have a little fun. And stay tuned for Sunday at 9 o'clock.
More fun time.
More fun. I hope you enjoyed the show. 2 great guests. And see you Sunday. Any last words?
Stay safe.